Real Madrid's summer felt like the start of a strict new plan. Xabi Alonso arrived with a blueprint, intensity, discipline, and a midfield spine that would control games. Yet plans collide with reality, and reality recently came wearing plaster and bandages. Injuries forced Alonso to improvise, to ask players to cover unfamiliar roles, and to temper his ideal lineups to survive a brutal schedule. That strain created one of football's quiet crises. The medical room, long a roommate everyone hopes to avoid, became the team's uninvited strategist, altering tactics and draining momentum. Now, as if flipping a switch, two names that felt like paused possibilities are suddenly active again. Eduardo Camavinga, a midfield engine built for battles, and Endrick, the teenage forward whose arrival promised a fresh, explosive attacking option. Both have been medically cleared and are back in full training at Valdebebas and within the halls of Real Madrid that feels not like a minor update but like two market-grade signings landing on the same morning. Camavinga's return plugs a hole that Alonso felt most keenly. When he is at his best, he brings an intensity that ruins opponents' rhythm, a capacity to carry the ball through pressure, and the sort of physical presence that lets Madrid dominate midfield contests. Alonso's system demands balance, someone who can break lines without sacrificing defensive responsibility, who can help switch play and recycle possession with authority. Without Camavinga, that balance had been fragile. Coaches were forced to ask creative midfielders to shield or defensive midfielders to step in to build up roles they don't love. With him back, Alonso regains a proper fulcrum, a player who makes rotations safer and substitutions smarter. Then there's Endrick, the teenage sparkplug who for months existed in promise and highlight reels, but not yet in competitive minutes under the new coach. Endrick's profile is different: spontaneity, a forward's instinct, and that capacity to punish a single defensive lapse. For a squad sometimes accused of predictability, his unpredictability is a strategic gift. The decision clock ticks differently when a coach can introduce not just another striker, but an element opponents haven't seen. Directness plus finishing instincts that can end matches in moments. Together, their returns solve problems on two axes, control in the centre and threat up front. That dual resolution lets Alonso rotate players without reshuffling the team's identity. It means the manager can rest wing-borne attackers, preserve legs for competition stacked across the calendar, and avoid the tactical contortions that risk form and fitness. It also frees Alonso to be bolder in his match plans, knowing he can call on Camavinga for a game that requires graft and grit, or drop Endrick in when defences are tired changes how he manages pressure games. The competitor landscape feels the impact equally. Opponents who planned to exploit Madrid's weakened engine room or who counted on the absence of a raw, unpredictable striker must now recalculate. Preparation that began with one set of variables now faces new ones, a restored midfield aggressor and a youthful attacking wildcard. On the pitch, that can translate into earlier pressing, quicker transitions, or late-game substitutions that break the deadlocks that used to bother Madrid. Off the pitch, the psychological lift is immediate. Dressing room morale spikes when familiar, talented faces return. The collective belief that a squad can weather storms and still field its best 11 is a subtle but powerful advantage over long seasons. For fans watching at Valdebebas and beyond, the reaction is almost indistinguishable from signing excitement, chants in training, social feeds lighting up, and a revived sense that Alonso's idea for the team is within reach. The real question now is not whether these returns matter, they clearly do, but how Alonso will weave them into his opening months. Will Camavinga reclaim a guaranteed start, or will Alonso ease him back with targeted minutes to protect against relapse? Will Endrick's debut be cautious, measured, an introduction in the late stages, or will Alonso trust the teenager early and risk a tactical reshuffle to accommodate his style? The answers will come match by match, and every selection will be passed by rivals and pundits, but one fact stands firm: Real Madrid's roster is stronger today than it was yesterday, and that shift could tilt tight contests in Spain and Europe. Watch the upcoming lineups and minute breakdowns. They will reveal not just fitness levels, but Alonso's intent. If these two returns are used well, what began as two medical clearances could become the turning point that defines a season. Not through headlines about money spent, but through minutes managed, match decisions made, and the quiet accumulation of advantages that win trophies. Win trophies.